welcome you to Durham, North Carolina. Duke and Clemson wrapping up the regular season today at Smith Family Stadium. The Tigers yesterday taking a 24-run thriller to force a rubber match here in the final game for these two teams. Here's how the ACC standings look, and it looks a lot different than when we came on the air yesterday in Game 2. Florida State in 9 innings beating Georgia Tech today, securing the sweep. They can now take the #1 seed of the ACC tournament and the regular season crown with a sweep of Boston College in a week's time. Alongside a former National Player of the Year, Jenny Dalton-Hill, I'm Chucky Kemp. Well, much different situation for Duke. No longer controlling their own destiny, thanks to a Clemson team playing some of their best ball.
They are. They're sitting in the middle of the ACC standings, but when you look at the way that they are trending up here at the end of the year, they are setting themselves up for a really good run at the end of the year.
For Clemson, similar to how Duke started hot in Game 1, they did it yesterday, and it was in part because of Macy Cintron taking a pitch over the wall.
John Rittman challenges Tigers to come out more aggressive at the plate. Cintron answered with the 2-run jack. Duke responded with a Gabby Shattuck blast of her own. Blue Devils put up 5 in response. The saying defense wins ball games was true yesterday. Kylie Johnson robbed a Layla Lamar shot, keeping Duke off the board. More defense by Johnson in the 4th with a laser to home on the money. Gets Jada Baker out at the plate. And then she did some work of her own at the plate. Had 1 hit in the game. It was a 2-run blast to put Clemson up 13-5. Duke woke up in the bottom of the 6th. Gabby Shattuck led off the inning with her 2nd home run of the day, and Layla Lamar up with Tyrena Jones and Jess Oakland on base, hit her 13th home run of the year, pulled Duke within 2. But Clemson held tight, evened up the series with a big win over number 12 Duke.
Win number 32 of the year for Clemson, 13-11. The Tigers hoping those bats keep it rolling. Jamison Brockenbrough right at the top of a surging offense. She has reached base in 25 of the last 26 games, one of the best leadoffs in the conference. Game 3 in the final game of the regular season for Clemson and Duke. They'll have the week off ahead of the ACC tournament that starts in just over 7 days in Charlottesville. As we get a look at the senior, Cassidy Curd, saw her briefly in relief yesterday, but it was really about what she did in Game 1 of this series. 5 2/3, 4 hits, 2 earned, and 7 strikeouts. The Cassidy Curd we know.
And she has done such a good job of staying healthy. They need her to be the workhorse in the circle, throws with a ton of velocity, lives confidently up in the top of the zone with that rise ball and curve mix.
It was working for her in Game 1. You could see that with the 7 strikeouts, just 2 walks in that game. It was a run rule victory for Duke in Game 1, 10-2 in just 6 innings. Yesterday looked like it was going to be about mid-20s scoring, but it slowed down just a little bit and finished 13-11.
I was actually really shocked with the way that Duke did not put runs up. They had 4 scoreless innings against Clemson today, hoping that they can find their bats and be a little bit more consistent at the plate.
See the Curd's numbers in the series. A lot of that damage came yesterday in a very brief stint. Just a 1/3 of an inning, couple hits, 2 earned, and you could see what Marissa Young wanted to do with Curd. She was trying to stop the bleeding and give Duke an opportunity that, if it would have worked, Duke had plenty of firepower down the stretch to come back.
And that's the thing about Duke. They're never out of a ball game. Even after being scoreless for so many, they were able to put up 6 runs in the 6th inning to pull within 2. Marissa Young has built a resilient group, and they've been led by this person here in the circle, Cassidy Curd, now in her senior season.
1-2 count. Good battle here from Brockenbrough at the plate. Chopper up the middle, and that'll get through. A base hit for Jamison Brockenbrough in just her 2nd season at Clemson, a senior who started her career at Tennessee.
Just impressive the way that Clemson has kind of flipped the script. Game 1, they were very quiet, only had 4 hits in Game 1. Yesterday, 13 hits, and it started at the top with Brockenbrough and Chanel.
Talked to John Rittman this week about this surge at the plate for his team over the last 2 or 3 weeks. He said, starts with confidence. We really played a tough schedule earlier in the year, maybe lost some of that confidence, started to press a little bit, but said you can see this team gaining the confidence as the season has gone on. One thing he was happy with early, even when the bats weren't necessarily electric, is said we still found a way to win.
And more than that, he said this is a team that they've started using the mantra, attack the moment. And in that mantra, they are always trying to be where their feet are, not think about what happened before, and be aggressive on the next 60 feet.
There's strike one and a 2-0 count to Kylie Chanel, who's 2 for 6 in the series, tied a career high with 5 RBIs yesterday. And takes strike 2.
What you need to do as a hitter early in a ball game when you know you're facing a rise ball pitcher is see something down. So Curd surprised her there, I think, by going down. They expect to see a lot of curveball up in the zone, rise ball up in the zone. Going down is different. And that's what I think has made Curd better as she's aged here at Duke. Is early on in her career, she was just a lot of velocity, a lot of rise ball. But then as she has matured and elevated her game, she's been able to add that drop ball and bring the ball down in the zone to change a hitter's eyes and have to make them adjust their swing plane.
Chanel walks. This is actually, I think that was just ball 3. So now the runner going to second is out because they thought it was ball 4, but the count was just 2-2. So Chanel took off. Curd kind of threw her hand up, and they're able to get Brockenbrough going to second because she thought it was a walk. What a bizarre moment in the first inning where Clemson now has nobody on and 1 out.
Well, and it's so important to always know the count, but when you've got a runner advancing, a heads-up catcher taking advantage of a base runner that didn't pay attention to the count, walked herself into an out, thought that she was advancing on a walk, but it was just ball 3.
I think Brockenbrough was going back to first and saw Chanel walking down the line. That was just bizarre. Now Marissa Young is asking a question of our home plate umpire, Eddie Hall, so our umpires are going to come together.
Just a really unique situation as we try to navigate. I mean, head coach Marissa Young got the out on the mistake made by Brockenbrough trying to take second base on what she thought was a walk. So now having a conversation potentially about Kylie Chanel. But it's a full count. She needs to come back to the box, and it's a full count, sitting 3-2.
Third time Brockenbrough's been caught stealing this year, technically.
The question on the field had to do with whether or not there's a penalty for the batter runner advancing to first base with it not being ball 4. There is no penalty. The out stands between first and second, and the batter returns with the count.
And there you have it. I mean, the conversation was more centered around, was there a penalty for the batter by advancing down the baseline, touching first base? But no penalty. But Clemson already a hiccup here in the first inning to pull themselves off the base pass and put it out on the board.
That is ball 4. We are certain of it. Now a runner on first with 1 out.
And that just comes down to making sure that your head's in the game at all times, knowing what the count is on the base pass. Don't trust the scoreboard. Make sure that you're talking to your base coaches, staying up on how many outs there are. Just really important to stay pitch to pitch and present in the moment.
Mac Pavesi, the true freshman for Clemson, at the plate. That's just 1 hit in the series. It came in game 1, and it was a solo home run. Pavesi wants to talk with John Rittman.
Pavesi had a huge home run in game 1 of this series. And when you think about the way Clemson has been swinging the bats, they've gained a lot of momentum here at the end of the season. They've put up just a ton of runs here at the end of the year. And with that, gaining momentum, finding confidence in the bat to be able to pass it off to the next batter, that's what they're going to need to be able to come away with a deep run in the postseason.
Barring a probably perfect run from here on out, Clemson will likely not be hosting a regional this year. You see the difference from game 1 to game 2, an 11-run improvement, a 9-hit improvement. And I mentioned too, the Ks went down, the walks went up. Everything positive at the plate that they could possibly do.
Biggest difference, who they faced in the circle. Game 1 was against Cassidy Curd. Game 2 was a whole host of Duke pitchers, and with that, they took advantage. So tonight, going to need to find a way to attack Cassidy Curd and be more effective at the plate.
It is an interesting dynamic for Clemson. There is just less at stake for the Tigers today, and really for Duke in some ways there is as well after the loss yesterday, because now Florida State can win out against Boston College, who sits at the bottom of the standings, and take the #1 seed in the ACC tournament. But Duke's also in that spot where they still want to secure a couple wins, make sure they're back here in this stadium hosting regionals.
Chucky, you and I were talking about it before the game. RPI-wise, they sit at 14. So for Duke, they sit in a very good spot to be able to find their way to host regionals. However, another loss today could give them a little bit of a hiccup here at the end of the year that the committee might take a nod and go the other way. And Clemson is a quality opponent. However, they sit below them in the RPI. So knowing that this is a opponent that is not necessarily above them in the RPI, this is kind of a must-win game for Duke. All the pressure on them, knowing that they've kind of pulled themselves out of that #1 seed in the ACC tournament discussion.
3-2, fouled straight back. Not going to be a ton of movement down the stretch, but am I wrong to think it might be easier to go down than it is up right now?
Most definitely is. It seems like it's always a slippery slope going the opposite direction, and it's a harder climb to get to the top. So when you think about the way that Florida State went up against Georgia Tech, they had 2 really tight ball games, an extra inning win to secure the sweep of Georgia Tech today.
Pavesi to center, not going to have enough in it. Jennings back to make the catch, 2 outs.
But coming into this series this weekend, it was Florida State and Duke kind of neck and neck at the top of the standings. And if Duke had secured a sweep of Clemson, they would have been able to harness the regular season championship here in the ACC.
Here's Macy Cintron, similar situation as yesterday coming up when she had a 2-run home run, and now Curd has fallen behind on the first pitch to all 4 batters.
Now you're typically looking for a first pitch strike, but yesterday Clemson came out much more aggressive and was attacking early in counts. Maybe that's why Curd is going a little bit wider on those balls at the beginning of the count. I've been impressed with the way that Curd has shown up this year. She took it upon herself to really be serious in the offseason, make sure that she was trained to go deep in the postseason, knowing that they were going to have to ride her arm a lot throughout this regular season. This is the most innings she's thrown. And when you look at the way that they rely on her, they needed her in the best shape of her career here in her senior season.
Four-pitch walk to Cintron.
But that is the part of the game that Curd actually has not improved upon this season, is the free passes. We've seen more free passes out of her this year than in previous. And because of that, it's elevated her pitch counts. I'm not going to say that's all Curd's fault. I think our strike zone this year has gotten a little bit tighter than in years past, but she doesn't have that #2 to play off of very well. So it's hard for her to be able to have a solid arm to go to play off of as a #2.
Already a pair of walks Duke pitchers walked just 7 in the first 2 games. This could very well be a bases loaded situation with 1 out. Had the awkward play at the beginning not happened. The runner being thrown out on ball 3, not ball 4 like they thought.
It's just really important right now for Curd to be able to attack these hitters. The free passes are what will hurt you. And when you give them up to these big hitters at the top of the lineup, it's difficult. But Marissa Young was a pitcher herself at Michigan. Big Ten Pitcher and Player of the Year in that conference.
They fell just short of their 4th consecutive Super Regional last year. They lost to Georgia in Game 7 of the regional that was hosted here. Curd misses ball 2. Marion Collins, big power bat last year. Not seen as much of that this year, but we saw why she had so much power yesterday when she blasted one to deep center field. It's her 6th of the season, and now in a big-time hitters count 3-0. We'll see if she's got the green light.
There's no way I'd put a green light on in this situation, not with the way that Curd has been dancing around the zone and not been able to find the plate.
Catches the outside corner, strike 1. That was pitch number 30 in the inning for Curd.
And it's a good spot, outside corner, definitely a pitcher's pitch, not one that you're going to chase in a 3-0 count for sure.
Fouled off, and it's a 3-2 count. This would be a lengthy inning, pitch count-wise and time-wise, to not see a number go up on the board if you're Clemson.
And I think it's really important for Curd to get herself out of this inning, but then get to the bullpen, figure out what it is that's creating these misses at the plate, really shore up what needs to happen to have a more quality second inning. 3rd
full count of the inning. This is into right field. Lamar fighting the sun and does a nice job to haul it in for the 3rd out. Single, a pair of walks, but no runs. And one of the best 3 in the order coming up. Looking to capture their 8th series in ACC play of the year. They will face a very familiar face in Abby Dunning, who was the Game 2 starter. She left, she re-entered, but finished with a line of 6 innings, 8 hits, 7 earned. 5 of those, though, Jenny, were in the first. She was really good after the first.
The first inning was where the hiccup happened. She walked the first 2 batters of the inning, and then the bats got rolling for Duke. I think it's really important for her to get a strong start here right out of the gate. She will throw right around 70 miles an hour, stays up in the zone with a screw, curve, and rise combo. She will throw that changeup, but usually only when she is throwing it ahead, and she will flash a drop ball, but not in hitter counts.
Dunning, no stranger to being a workhorse. Had back-to-back years with a sub-3 ERA in 23 and 24 and 340 innings pitched. But this is a tough lineup to let have a bunch of looks at you and try to have success. 2 big innings for Duke yesterday in the 1st and the 6th. And they can put them up in a hurry, especially when you have two players with more than 70 hits at the top of your order, and Jessica Oakland in the 3-hole is closing in on that number.
And you're looking at so much experience at the top of the lineup, and then those transfers coming in to add the big power. They've got themselves a powerhouse of a lineup sitting in that 1 through 5 slot.
Oakland awaits. Typically, she's looking at Jennings or Vega or both on the bases for her. 22-game reach base streak going on for Deanna Jennings right now, the Duke center fielder. This is why, ripped to right, it's gone. That got out of here in a hurry.
2 years ago, Gianna Jennings realized that she could not just be a touch-and-go slapper anymore, because with the rule change, she was getting called out at the plate all the time. Took it upon herself to make sure that she was able to swing away. Well, what an amazing start to this game for Duke. Getting off to a hot start, Deanna Jennings, 5th home run of the year, and Duke on the board quick.
Jenny, of the 5 elite hitters on this team, and more are joining this season goes on, she's the one that doesn't have the power of those top 5 in the order, but there it was, her 5th home run of the year. The other 4 have at least 12. Tyrena Jones has 20. Up and in, ball 2 to Amina Vega.
I mean, when you look at the way that she swung the bat, it was the beginning of her career where she just used her wheels. But with the rule change of slappers being out of the box, she got called consistently for being out of the box and realized she needed to make a change. Has done so here at the end of her career and swinging with a ton more confidence in her senior season.
Made it a 12-game home run streak for Duke. They've hit 35 in that span. I talk about Clemson getting better. I think you could argue that Duke as a whole have continued to improve as Vega rips one to left right at Johnson for the second out, but their elite hitters have stayed elite. And then when you look further down the order, those role players 6 through 9 are getting really good too.
It's just so important to see the way that the top of the lineup has set themselves up for success, with the bottom of the lineup now coming in hot. Deanna Jennings, while she all 3 of these hitters hitting above 400, but the speed that Jennings and Vega have at the top of the lineup is what sets them up to be able to be so dynamic, because RBI potential is there anytime you put the ball in play.
Jessica Oakland at the plate, spent 2 years at Minnesota, came to Duke last year but had to redshirt. They were missing this bat last year as she pokes one into left for a base hit. They're seeing Dunning really well here to start.
I think it's really important to see the way that Duke has responded. They had a huge response yesterday after falling behind 2-0. They put up a 5 spot in the bottom of the first yesterday. That happened off of Dunning. They have confidence off of her, and they're putting more on the board, swinging away with a lot of power right now.
Looks like a confident Duke team right now, and looks like a driven one as well, on a mission to not end the regular season on a loss. Tyrena Jones, the single season record holder in home runs and RBIs here at Duke. The home run record came in game 1 of this series. She tied Anna Gold last weekend. She broke it this weekend, and now it's a question of how many more can she add to it.
Marissa Young is hoping a lot. Double digits is what she's hoping, but more than anything, this is a Duke team right now that is wondering what happened yesterday, because they were in the driver's seat to be able to get that #1 seed at the end of the year for the ACC tournament. But with that loss to Clemson yesterday, if Florida State wins out, they find themselves in the #2 seed.
Here's the swing that broke the record.
I mean, you talk about a player that waited for her chance, had to sit last year. Or for Tyrena Jones coming in as a transfer this year from Purdue, so important for her to be able to step on the field and continue to swing with the kind of confidence that she had last year.
She's driven in at least 1 run in 11 of the last 12 games. Here are the program records, so she has made her mark on this program in a very short amount of time.
You know that Marissa Young is sad that she only gets to have her for 1 season.
Popped up, and that will get out of play. Jones just 1 for 7 in the series. It was the home run. She entered this series, though, with 15 hits in the previous 14 games. 8 of them were home runs and 26 RBIs. That's almost 2 per game over that stretch. "3-2, got her. Big pitch there from Dunning for out number 2.
And that's a pitch that shows that the batter was swinging at anything, because that is not a hittable pitch. That is a rise ball well out of the zone. Hard to catch up to that, but that's an aggressive hitter swinging big, trying to put 2 more runs on the board.
Dunning trying to keep it to just 1 in this first inning, which would be a small number for Duke in this series. Layla Lamar, 3 hits, 2 of them extra bases, and has driven in 4. Takes strike 2 and falls behind 0-2.
And Lamar is not liking these pitches away, but we were talking to head coach Marissa Young before this series started, and we asked, what is it about the way that Lamar has changed and evolved as a hitter? She said early in her career as a left-handed batter, she was thrown away often, and so because that ball away was where she was being attacked, that was an easy spot for her to find a way to get on every time. But as she's gotten older, she's learned how to turn on the ball and pull the ball. But in this at-bat, they're keeping the ball on the outside part of the plate.
Go up this time, 1-2. Being able to hit that inside pitch, a big reason why Lamar has 13 home runs this year. While Marissa Young only gets Tyrena Jones for a season, she could have her daughter Layla for 3 full seasons. Trying to extend a hit streak to 8 games. Chased it. Back-to-back strikeouts for Dunning to make it the smallest scoring in a first inning this series.
But you mentioned it. They've scored in every first inning in this one against Clemson. Big home run by Deanna Jennings to start it off for Duke.
What you've worked for your whole life. It's a one and done, so you got to bring your A game, and you're going home if you don't.
Must watch softball.
Welcome to ACC play, baby. Let's go.
Just about that time, the ACC Softball Championship starts May 6th. There's the trophy, Duke. hoisted when they hosted the ACC tournament here in 2024. And here's what we know so far. Duke does have a top 4 seed and a first-round bye. Clemson is in as well. They will have to play in the first round, though. The question is, can Florida State take care of business next weekend at Boston College, who has only won 3 conference games all year? They will not be in the ACC tournament, and earn the #1 spot.
So far, 8 teams have secured their spot into the ACC tournament. Still some spots up for grabs as the bottom 4 continue to duke it out.
Two-0 count. This is Sarah Bro, and we've talked about Clemson getting it going. We talked about Duke's bottom of the order, but Clemson similarly top to bottom. Sarah Bro here in the 6th spot. We'll see Taylor Pipkins in the 9 hole for them. Have both been big swingers for the Tigers down the stretch. You see that one, a long foul ball from Bro.
And the way Bro's been swinging it, she's 500 in this series. They tweaked her hand mechanics a little bit, and that has really helped her down the stretch in her freshman season to be a little bit better at the plate. It took her 23 games to hit her first home run and had 7 in the last 11 games coming into this series.
Outside ball 3. Skied in the air on the infield. Oakland under it. Well, we mentioned Florida State and Boston College. That's where we are headed next weekend. We've got the whole 3-game series. Friday's game, 4 Eastern start on ACC Network Extra. And then the weekend matchups on the ACC Network. Just like everything else, you can catch those on the ESPN app. We'll be tracking Issa Torres and her chase for history. She's going to need a big finish, which could also help Florida State secure that #1 seed.
The way that she's been swinging it all season long, everybody's eyes have been on Issa Torres to try to figure out if she was going to be able to break the season batting average. But this weekend, she was not very good at the plate. Only came away with just 1 hit in the series.
Strike 2.
And this is the first batter that Cassidy Curd started off with a strike. I mean, the way that she has rebounded after a first inning where she was dancing around the zone, now coming right at Minish.
Minish getting the start today. Curd thought that was strike 3. As did the Duke dugout.
Well, and it's an important inside pitch to try to figure out. If Curd can get that good run on the inside part of the plate against these lefties, that's going to be a great pitch down the stretch to continue to exploit that spot.
2-2.
Typically, Curd likes to use glove side run and pull that curveball away from the left-handed batter, but if she's able to go inside with confidence, it's going to change up the way that she can attack these hitters.
Can't quite dial it to the right spot to get this 3rd strike. Minish 1 for 2, a walk and a pair of runs scored. Got her.
Inside, lefty-lefty. That is a really difficult pitch. And if Curd can continue to dial that one in, I love the lesson that she learned early in that at bat, where it needed to be to get the called strike. Minish could not pull the trigger on that one.
Fifth time Curd has gone to a 3-2 count in 7 batters faced. There is another strike 1, so that's a good trend for her to start. Against Kylie Johnson, who impacted the game yesterday in every possible way. A home run robbed, a runner thrown out at home, a home run hit. Not often can you say you robbed one and hit one in the same game.
And I just love the way that she sits in the 8th spot in the lineup. So much confidence and power sitting down here. That was her 3rd home run of the year, but she has the most stolen bases on the team this year. So a lot of speed as they try to flip the lineup over.
Leaves that pitch away for ball 2. Johnson, a consistent contributor in her 3rd season now at Clemson. Had 10 home runs last year. Slow roller left side taken care of by Jones. Back-to-back zeros for Cassidy Curd and Duke. They lead Clemson by 1. With College World Series, it is not that far away, and we cannot wait to see who lifts the trophy this year. Feels like a year where anything could happen. It begins May 28th on our ESPN family of networks and ABC. This is the RPI Top 16. Duke in that 13 spot, not a bad spot to be. You still want some wins late to secure it.
You definitely do. Yesterday's hiccup against Clemson, they could not get that enough runs to come back at the end of it. So not a bad loss, but it's a loss against a team lower in RPI. And so you never want to have those kinds of losses on your resume at the end of the year.
They'll get some opportunities coming up in about 9 days' time when the ACC tournament begins. It's a nice little rest for both of these teams. I say rest, they'll be, I believe most of them will be taking tests over the next week.
One of the things that Duke and Clemson both have are finals coming up this next week, and with that, they get a chance to focus on their academics instead of softball next weekend. But one of the things that both these coaches talked about is making sure they don't fall out of rhythm, because with the week off and academics as the focus, it's something that they consciously have to make sure that they bring to the front of their conversations to make sure that they continue to swing, continue to practice, and stay ready and sharp for the ACC tournament.
1-2 pitch. Ooh, got KK Mathis. The home plate umpire says, hold on a second. He thought maybe that was a bat. Mathis can't believe it, and she will take her base at first. You're just confirming.
Yeah, all of a sudden, you can see the emotions are elevated. Taylor Wyke, third base coach, that was clearly into the arm of KK Mathis, but with that, it also sounds different. When it hits off of that protective arm shield, it does sound like it could have come off maybe the knob of the bat. And so as a home plate umpire, the play happens and you're shielded from where it actually hits. So just getting clarification from the other umpires that KK Mathis did get hit by that pitch.
Now Gabby Shattuck. She has been red hot, 3 for 6 in the series, a couple home runs, both of them yesterday, but she was a big reason why Duke nearly did the impossible and erased an 8-run deficit in that 6th inning alone. Her solo home run started that rally. Has 5 multi-hit games in the last 8 played. Hitters count 2-0. 3-0.
And here at the end of the season, Shattuck has been swinging with a ton of confidence because she's found a way to really just elevate the ball, get it over the wall. She had 3 home runs against Boston College in their previous series.
Walks this time, so back-to-back free passes here for Dunning in the second.
It was free passes that led to the big first inning in game 2 yesterday. Dunning put the first 2 batters on, and then Duke exploded for 5 runs in response to the top half of the inning, where Clemson started the game with 2 runs, so it was automatically a 5-2 deficit going into the second inning. Free passes will hurt you, and that's the thing that Dunning needs to make sure that she reins in quickly, because with a pinch runner on second base, it will put speed in scoring position.
Ariel Kruger, the runner at second base. That was the 15th walk in the series for Clemson pitchers. Clemson pitchers were really good last weekend as a unit, gave up just 6 total runs. 4 of them came in game 1. Gave up just 11 total hits and 2 home runs. There's Jayla Stafford. True freshman from San Diego, went to the Bishop School. Has a hit in 8 of the last 10 games. Takes inside ball 2.
Not sure where the issue is right now for Dunning in the circle, but I like the fact that her shortstop comes in to have a conversation, try to settle her down, knowing that walks are undefensible. And so the defense is asking for an opportunity to get in this ball game and get out of this inning.
John Rittman will join the circle. There's nobody up throwing for Clemson right now in their bullpen. What was your words of advice to pitchers at Arizona when you walked in from behind them? Anything good? Were you funny? Were you serious?
It depends on the pitcher. Some pitchers don't like it when you come to the circle lighthearted and telling a joke. Some of them are very serious in the circle. Dunning doesn't seem to be that kind of pitcher. So you need to know your personnel. And I like the fact that Kylie Chanel, who was a transfer that came into Clemson from Florida Atlantic, took an opportunity to come in and just have a conversation with her pitcher. Knowing that Clemson is a very young team, I like that the junior, the transfer coming in, saw the chance to be a leader in that moment.
I feel like it's really about timing, Jenny. I mean, if I just gave up a grand slam and you come crack a joke, I might be a little upset.
I mean, you're right. But you need, just like in any conversation, you need to know your audience. And right now, Taylor Wyke not impressed with the calls being made back behind the plate.
Strike 2, 2-2. Still upset. Inside corner right now to Stafford. Has to protect. Nobody out and 2 on here in the second. Time called. Ten leadoff runners have reached in the series for Duke. 6 of them have scored. There's a 7th on second base right now. Brockenbrough under it in center field, 1 out.
With an inconsistent zone back behind the plate, it makes it really difficult as a hitter to attack. But when you sit in a count 2-0, you should be looking for the pitch that you can absolutely crush. And in that situation, as Stafford took that pitch high in the sky, just didn't have the right swing plane to be able to attack Dunning.
Strike 1 here to Addie Matthews. Matthews, a freshman from Tallahassee. 1-1. Will likely have plenty of action against her hometown team, the Florida State Seminoles, over her career. Maybe even a matchup potentially at the ACC tournament.
Yeah, depending on where they end up in the bracket. The hard part about it is you get either Florida State or Duke on your side of the bracket, knowing that those are going to be your 1 and 2 seeds at the end of the season.
2-1 from Dunning. Ground ball foul. What takes Duke the distance? They went to the Women's College World Series in 2024. For this team specifically, in your mind, they've got the offense. What is it, though, that gets them back to the promised land?
Their pitching staff really needs to figure out how to make sure that they shore up those free passes. Free passes has been the conversation with their head coach, and that lady right there, Cassidy Curd, is the one that knows how to get them back there. She's taken a team to the Women's College World Series in 2024. But when you think about it, what made them so good that season? They had a solid number 2 pitcher to follow up Curd. And not only did they follow her up with something different in her arsenal, but they had the bats to back it up. And Addie Matthews goes down with a big swing and miss, her 3rd strikeout of the day for Abby Dunning in the circle.
Dunning struck out back-to-back in the first to get out of the inning.
Well, and it's always the rise ball. The rise ball is that pitch that you can live and die by. If it doesn't jump, it's a home run. If it does jump, it's typically the swing and miss.
Dunning up and away to Deanna Jennings, who had a solo home run off of her to lead off the bottom of the first.
The key to facing a rise ball pitcher and being successful is making sure that you're disciplined on the ball that starts belt high. That's the one that will get over the barrel on the swing.
Outside corner, that's a good spot from Dunning for strike 2.
Just great arm side run to be able to get that screwball outside corner. It's hard to light that one up, and if she can continue to nip that corner, that's a great pitch to go with that rise ball.
I always love when you can see a hitter, an internal struggle of trying to lay off of that pitch.
Why you like that internal struggle, Chucky?
Because it's not me.
It is so hard to lay off that pitch up in the zone because it looks so big and hittable, but it's typically a swing and miss.
Great spot from Dunning, and for the 2nd straight inning, she strikes out back-to-back to close the door.
That really is a pitcher's pitch, and if Dunning can continue to paint that corner, she's going to need to stay there because that right there is beautiful to get her out of the inning.
just 3 combined hits in 2 innings and just 1 run. I don't know what series we're watching right now. This is not what we've seen in the first 2 games. Tuesday night, number 2, North Carolina hosts number 9, Coastal Carolina, in our featured game of the week. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern right here on the ACC network.
Both of those teams with Omaha caliber squads. Excited to see the way that the end of the year shapes up for ACC baseball, as they're about 2 weeks after the game of softball in terms of their timing and their postseason.
It's because we don't have any patience, and I'm fine with that. Move Selection Sunday up a week.
We start 2 weeks earlier, and it means some of those northern schools don't play at home for quite a while.
This is ripped to left field for Pipkins, who rounds first, headed for second. Now 14 of her 22 extra base hits have gone for extra bases.
Well, and that's what you're looking for in the number 9 slot in your lineup. Somebody to put themselves on, flip the lineup over, and give you a chance, because right now it's a 1-run ball game. Yesterday we were watching a ton of runs being scored all over the place, but today much different look, more reminiscent to our Friday night ball game that Duke came away with the win.
Back to the top of the order, Clemson trying to answer. It's a good spot to do it with Jamison Brockenbrough. Takes upstairs ball 1. She singled to start the game, and then it was the awkward play. And if you weren't with us earlier, Brockenbrough was on first, and Kylie Chanel thought she had walked, but it was only ball 3. But it convinced Brockenbrough enough that she went to second and was tagged out and essentially was caught stealing.
Well, and in that situation, that's a heads-up play by the catcher for Duke, Gabby Shattuck, to come up with a throw to her shortstop, get the tag, as Clemson seemed to just be bewildered as to what was going on. Duke stayed in complete control, knowing the count, and got the out.
Two and 0.
In this ball game, with both pitchers with the pitcher on both sides, both of them throwing up in the zone, I think it's really important to show plate discipline. And the team that is able to stay off the rise ball with the swing and miss is going to be the team that wins the ball game.
2-1. Second time for these lineups, seeing these pitchers. I don't know that I expected the first couple frames to go this way.
Well, but you've also got Curd back in the circle, and that was the difference maker for Duke in that first ball game of this series. She held Clemson to just 4 hits in game 1. It's the free passes that just need to be shored up. Only allowed 2 walks in that opener on Friday night.
3-2. We welcome those of you who just watched Tennessee take down Alabama. Big-time SEC matchup there, and a big win for the Lady Vols. Series finale tomorrow night as Brockenbrough fouls that back.
And that'll be the Mic'd Up Monday game tomorrow. Those are always unique. Get the inside look as to what is going on in the coach's mind, and sometimes you get some pretty candid moments.
We need you mic'd up in between innings.
It's probably not a good idea.
Brockenbrough draws the walk. 2 on, nobody out here against Curd.
The batter, number 2, Kylie Chanel.
We welcome yet another audience. We're taking all the viewers today. Louisville just walked off Clemson. We are here in Durham, North Carolina for Duke Clemson on the softball side. It's the regular season finale for these two teams. Cassidy Curd, Duke's ace, in the circle, hoping the Blue Devils can respond after a 13-11 loss yesterday.
And it was one that changed the standings in the ACC.
Little bunt here from Chanel. A stumble by Stafford, but gathers herself and makes the play. One big swing in this one, Jenny, is how we got here.
Yeah, back in the first inning, it was the first batter for Duke. Typically a touch and go kind of hitter that likes to put the ball in play and let her wheels work. Well, it was a huge swing, leadoff home run for Deanna Jennings. And that's the difference in the ball game so far. Her 4th home run of the year and a 1-0 lead for Duke.
Big moment for the true freshman. There's a lot of experience difference between Cassidy Curd and Mac Pavesi in this pitcher versus hitter matchup. 2-0.
There may be an age difference. However, when you look at the way that Mac Pavesi has been swinging it, she had a big home run in the opener, and that was the only runs put up on the board by Clemson. This is a conversation by Marissa Young. You can tell she's talking mechanics with her senior in the circle. So we had conversations earlier, Chucky, about what conversations do you have with your pitcher in the circle? Sometimes you go out to loosen them up. Sometimes you go out to make sure that they're just taking a breath and taking it one pitch at a time. That right there, head coach Marissa Young, who was a pitcher at Michigan as a player, headed out to the circle to make sure Cassidy Curd understood something about her mechanics to be a little bit better in the circle.
2-0 count. See how Curd responds. Popped up and out of play. I feel like when I've asked pitchers in the past about that, it's hard to find it in game. There's just some days where you don't feel it, and it's basically a question of, can you still give your team a chance to win? To this point, obviously still early, but Cassidy Curd has done that.
Well, and if you're not 100% and you feel maybe you're only at 70%, give me all 70%. Don't come in with doubt. You've got to be confident in the things that you do have.
Immediately bounced back. Couple foul balls to get in this count, 2-2.
We talked about the big swing by Mac Pavesi. It was a pitch down and away, kind of a pitcher's pitch. Found its way over the wall, even though Jennings was trying to bring it back in. It was a solo shot.
This would do a lot more damage here in the top of the 3rd. Hard hit, stabbed it short, and a double play. Oakland and Jones combining. The Duke defense coming up big.
How do you back up a pitcher who maybe was stumbling in an inning? Well, you come away with a big double play with the defense pinched in, knowing that there was a runner at third base. Line drive right at Oakland. Doubles off the runner at third. This play will be under review. And I think that's actually a really good challenge by the head coach of Clemson, John Rittman. He's standing right there in the middle of the action. And I think when they take this to review, they will see that the throw did not beat the runner trying to get back. Taylor Pipkins, I think, got the foot in just in time before the ball is secured in the glove by third baseman Tyrena Jones. It's really hard as a base runner to not take that additional step on contact. But at third base, your lead should be a little bit delayed, especially with less than 2 outs.
Quick review, nicely done by our umpiring crew, and we are back with 2 on and 2 out. And for Clemson, this is huge because Macy Cintron is as dangerous as they come, has a confidence that is hard to make up. It is very natural.
She had a big 2-run home run in the first inning. That was in game 2 yesterday. She is swinging a very confident bat right now.
Strike 1 to Cintron. Well, for those of you watching us on ESPN2, you can head over to ACC Network to watch the remainder of this game. For the rest of you here on ESPN2, NWSL Soccer is coming up.
It's so important to stay off that rise ball. You cannot allow yourself as a hitter, especially with the kind of power that Cintron has, to fall prey for that ball up in the zone.
Curd and Shattuck having a conversation in the circle. This would be really impressive if Duke can get out of this with nothing. But we've seen a couple different circle visits here. Curd struggling at times with location. Clemson's had all the opportunity in the world in this third inning.
Well, and I think that was a conversation initiated by Curd. And so I love that the senior is trying to take control of this moment right here and not let the moment get too big, knowing that back behind the plate, she's got a freshman who might have the emotions running a little bit high.
Good pitch to jump ahead, 1-2. Cintron smoked a ball just left of the scoreboard yesterday to kick off the scoring in the first inning, a 2-run home run. It's her lone hit in this series, but she's walked 3 times. Big swing and a miss, and Curd fired up as she closes the door and strands a pair.
The one thing about Cassidy Curd is she has done such a good job of keeping her emotions in check, but in big moments like this, you will see the emotion come out. Huge strikeout to get out of a tough jam.
Three scoreless for Cassidy Curd, getting it done on the field, also getting it done off the field. She has been named the community MVP by Food Lion in celebration of 40 years as the official grocer of the ACC, and has donated 5,000 meals to a local Duke food bank in her name. In her hometown, she also volunteers extensively at animal shelters, supporting daily operations, caring for animals, and helping facilitate adoptions, among many other things that she does in the community.
I mean, to find this kind of all-around human being, not just a student athlete, but giving back to the communities where she lives, where she grew up, that shows you just the kind of quality human being that Cassidy Curd is on and off the field.
Duke back at the dish, just 2 hits, one of them the solo home run from Deanna Jennings. Two-0 count here to Amina Vega leading off this inning. Pitch misses inside 3-0. She's a pitch away from extending a 32-game reach base streak. Four-pitch walk for Vega.
Well, and when it comes to the way that Dunning is starting each of these innings, it's been a struggle. In the first inning, gave up a first batter home run. In the second inning, back-to-back walks to start it off, and now starts off the third with another walk. I'm looking for Dunning to be sharper here in Game 3, knowing that in Game 2, she did such a good job of keeping her walks down and attacking these hitters for Duke.
Ball 1 to Jessica Oakland as Vega scrambles back to first base. She can run too.
Yeah, she's a perfect 10 for 10 on the base pass this season. She is speed for sure, the all-time doubles leader for Duke.
Duke also just a double away from breaking the team record for doubles in a season. They're closing in on the home run record as well as a team. A big reason why is Jessica Oakland.
Well, last season had to sit out because of the transfer rule, and in that got hungry, but then got injured in the fall, and in getting injured didn't really start the season as hot as they were anticipating. Here at the end of the year, she is swinging a really potent bat in that game with the home run. She went 3 for 4 in that one, and just that slow start really kept her power at bay and her RBI production, but within the last 22 games, she has stepped it up, not only swinging for great average, but stepped up her power game, and those RBI numbers are soaring.
A couple years ago in 2024, Big Ten Player of the Year and a second-team All-American at Minnesota. Takes inside, and again, Dunning way behind in this count. Marissa Young, she's out in the bullpen right now, working with the pitchers.
A one-run ball game means there's not a lot of wiggle room for mistakes, and so that you take your head coach out there to make sure that they have a quality backup ready to go. They used a ton of pitchers yesterday. 4 pitching changes as Ava Bradshaw started the game, but then re-entered to finish.
Ground ball left side. They're going to try and get the lead runner and do. 1 out with Oakland now on first.
And typically in that situation as a second baseman, when you're playing second, you should be coming across to make that play, knowing that the throw is coming from third base. So in that one, I don't understand the retraction going back behind the bag. Just put yourself in the way of the runner.
Tyrena Jones off the end of the bat. This could be 2. Jump throw, and the scoop not successful by Pavesi. Would have been tough, but a very athletic play by Kylie Chanel at short.
When you jump into that throw like that, you need to make sure that you lower your arm slot just a little bit, because if you come over the top in that throw, you're going to throw it into the ground. That's exactly what happened. So in that jump throw, make sure that you stay low and lower the arm slot just a little bit into the angle to get the throw across the body instead of from north to south.
Almost more of a sidearm motion you're looking for there?
A little bit, for sure.
Big spot to play for Clemson at shortstop for Kylie Chanel in her first season, transferring from Florida Atlantic. Strike 2, Layla Lamar falls behind 0-2. One, 2. Off speed, Lamar noticed it, but couldn't do much with it and cannot quite beat the throw. That'll do it for the third. Just 1 run in this game. John Rittman on the other side for Clemson.
Let's hear it one more time.
1-0 Duke leading Clemson in a pitcher's duel here in Game 3, top of the fourth. We're joined by Clemson head coach John Rittman. Coach, you go back to Abby Dunning. Just what went into that decision, and how do you approach kind of the conversation with her seeing this Duke lineup a second time?
Yeah, we're really confident in Abby. I thought she, after the first inning yesterday, pitched really well. And, definitely today she's got some good stuff. She's got the changeup working a couple times, so that's good, keeping them off balance. Other than the leadoff home run, I thought she's kind of pitched around some hitters, but I think she's pitched effectively. We got to play defense behind her, and then we got to take advantage of scoring opportunities like we had last inning.
Most definitely. And with runners in scoring position, what are you asking your hitters to do that maybe they didn't execute?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, in that situation where we're looking for a hard ground ball, fly ball, anything, put the ball in play, and look to hit. I think Curd's kind of effectively wild right now, and she's a really good pitcher, but just trying to get a good piece of barrel on the ball. And when you got second and third, one out, Chanel did a great job of butting them over. We just got to have more productive at bats there.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Abby Dunning giving them everything they need right now. Not many pitchers can do what she has done against Duke in these first 3 innings.
Most definitely, and Coach is right. She has danced around some of their bigger hitters. It's been that one mistake to the leadoff batter, Deanna Jennings, the home run that went over the wall to start the game, but she has settled in quickly. She's given up those free passes, but I think they've been strategic. I don't know that she's lost her control. It's more a matter of making sure that she's not giving good pitches to the hitters that can hurt her.
Cassidy Curd's done her job and then some as well. 3 innings, 2 hits, no runs, few walks, but has not hurt at this point. Couple big strikeouts, including the strikeout to end the 3rd inning of Macy Cintron as she starts off Marion Collins with strike 1. Up and in, ball 1. Collins flew out to right field. Her last trip to the plate had a couple runners on base when she came up. It's the second time Clemson had left 2 runners on the base paths to end an inning. Ball 2. Popped up, and that will get out of play.
When you listen to the way Coach John Rittman talks about how to attack Cassidy Curd, I think he's exactly right. In years past, we've talked about how Cassidy Curd is effectively wild, and I think some people around the country have heard that as a very negative comment. But when you look at the way that Cassidy Curd throws, her ball has a lot of movement, and because of that, sometimes she doesn't know where it's going to end up.
It's an awkward spinner back to Curd, but gets down quickly and has out number 1. Big week, Tuesday through Friday. We've got football previews of all 17 teams for the first 3 days and 5 teams on Friday, each day starting at 2 Eastern. If it's football, we've got you covered right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app.
It almost feels like football never ends. Right now, watching all the NFL draft, all the colleges around the country, and spring ball finishing up.
I know you've been scouring draft grades and reports from all the 32 teams in the NFL. Inside, that got Bro.
I think my favorite draft pick was the last one by the Steelers, though, with the Navy grad going. Very emotional as he was putting on that Steelers cap and walking out to the stage. When you know you've got a hitter like Bro up to the plate, you do want a challenger on the inside part of the plate, but we've talked a little bit about how the movement of Curd can be unpredictable, and with that, gets away from her and puts a base runner on here at the bottom of the lineup. And this is a spot in the lineup that we've seen Corey Hicks, the transfer from Oklahoma, sitting in, but yesterday Hicks was relieved by Sam Minish mid-game And Minish had a really good did a really good job back behind the plate, and I think earned herself a spot here in the lineup here today.
Big swing at that for strike 2. Clemson's 0 for 4 with runners on base today.
It's just so important to make sure that you put the ball in play. And if you're attacking a ball down in the zone and you're already under it, you're going to have a hard time against a pitcher that loves the top of the zone. And that, I think, was a strike 2. It's a frustrating day for the Duke coaching staff that is not happy with the zone being called back behind the dish.
See, we can laugh a bit because it's not us. You can feel the pain, though.
It's frustrating because while the zone around the country this year has been smaller, the top of the zone needs to be called a strike, and that's coming from a hitter, not a pitcher. I fully believe the top of the strike zone, as written, needs to be called more consistently. Now that is not the top of the strike zone. But the pitch count for Curd is the thing that I think is most concerning, knowing that she's had back issues in the past, back problems in the past. She needs to keep that pitch count low to make sure that she stays sharp through the end of the season.
7th full count. Swing and a miss. Big pitch from Curd, down in the zone that time.
And the crazy part about it is that ball may be down in the zone, but Minish still swung under it, which tells me that her swing plane is completely off for what she is trying to attack coming out of the circle.
Kylie Johnson pops this up, playable. Vega wants it. Finally, it came down, and Curd puts up another 0. This is an excellent performance from the senior, and Marissa Young has to be really pleased with her lefty. Big game here to finish the regular season. Coach, a week off coming up. How important is this game for you guys to just be able to sit there on a win and kind of build toward the ACC championship?
Yeah, well, we definitely want to take the series, and especially it being our last series, finish at home strong and get us ready to move into the ACC tournament.
I feel like we've watched Cassidy Curd grow up. She's done such a good job, and now we're seeing her more as a leader in the circle. What we're going into those conversations in the circle?
Obviously, yesterday didn't go the way we wanted in the circle, and today was really about making adjustments and keeping the ball in the ballpark, giving our offense a chance to get things going.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
And the conversations are still going. You know, in this situation, Curd is able to talk about what kind of strike zone's getting called back behind the plate. It's been a little bit inconsistent, but more than anything, she's able to keep it light. And the best Cassidy Curd is the one that is communicating. When Cassidy Curd gets quiet, she gets tight in the circle. And so being able to find a way to keep Cassidy Curd talking to her infield, talking to her catcher, that's when she is able to perform at her best.
KK Mathis leads off for Duke against Dunning in the bottom of the fourth. Big swing through that for strike two. Mathis hit by a pitch in her first at bat. It's the same part of the order that led off the second as that gets away from Dunning, but it was Mathis hit by a pitch, Shattuck walked, and then the next three retired on a fly ball, and then back-to-back strikeouts for Dunning. Two and two. From 0-2 to 3-2 now.
We heard John Rittman talk about how in the circle Dunning was throwing around certain hitters. I don't know that that's the case here. It looks as though control is more of an issue in this at bat.
Let that first ball go toward the backstop. This is really high down the left field line and foul.
And John Rittman is not new to the coaching scene. He helped start the program at Washington back in the 90s, then became the longtime head coach at Stanford for 18 seasons, moved over to Kansas before taking the helm of the brand new program and building it from the ground up at Clemson.
Two Women's College World Series at Stanford in the early 2000s, 2001 and 2004, as Mathis rolls this to second, one out.
And he also has coached with Team USA, has been to the postseason every year at Clemson. I do not think that is in jeopardy this year either. Their RPI is high, and he said heading into this season, we knew that we were young and there were going to be lessons and bumps along the way in the beginning of the year, and they took those lumps and they were hard lessons to learn. But as they've gotten here down to through the end of the ACC season, they're finding ways to be resilient and learn from those lessons early on and put them into play here in the heading into the postseason.
He talked about the uniqueness of this roster. There's 11 newcomers, 7 are freshmen. They only have 2 seniors. It's Brockenbrough and Dunning. This is Dunning's first year in the program and Brockenbrough's second.
Both of them transfers coming in.
Right up in the grill of Gabby Shattuck. That's what she did yesterday twice.
Well, there's a reason that Abby Dunning is kind of trying to throw around Gabby Shattuck. It's because yesterday she had 2 big home runs.
Two-two count, trying to spark another rally here.
Another reason you throw around Shattuck in this situation is because all of the hits that Shattuck has had in this series have been for extra bases. She was 1 for 3 in game 1 with a double, 2 for 3 yesterday with those 2 dingers.
Takes just outside ball 4. Tuesday night, top 10 matchup. North Carolina hosting Coastal Carolina in our featured baseball game of the week. Coverage begins 7 Eastern right here on ACC Network. You don't get midweeks like that all the time.
No, you really don't. And kind of cool to see Coastal, who's considered kind of an Omaha caliber team. They've been plagued with some pretty big injuries that they've had to navigate through the season. Injury seems to be something that every team deals with. Some of them happen at more key positions than others.
Duke 0 for 8 with runners on base today. They were 13 of 36 in the first 2 games. It's the magic to the situational hitting. Is it completely random, or is there something to it from a mental standpoint?
It's making sure that you head into the plate with a plan.
Ground ball right side. They get the lead runner, not in time to get 2.
When you get a big hitter to the plate, sometimes what happens is they just think, oh, I'm just going to hit a home run. Well, the pitcher out there knows the kind of bat that you swing, and so your job is to make sure that you have a productive out. In that situation, hitting the ball to the second baseman, it's a nice, easy play right there to the shortstop coming across. You're looking for a hard hit ball, maybe in the 5-6 hole. You know, in the game of baseball, when you've got a runner on first, you're trying to hit behind a runner potentially. But in the game of softball, when you try to hit behind a runner, it's an easy out because the infield is so much smaller. And so our game, it's a harder play if you can pull that ball down the third base line.
Shallow left field. In comes Johnson. That'll do it. Dunning and Curd are spinning it today. 1-0 through 4 full innings. Todd Koulis loves more than the Duke Lemur Center, founded in 1966. More than 200 animals across 13 species. That's the most diverse population of lemurs outside of their native Madagascar.
I mean, when I see that, all I think is Zaboomafoo. Now, that ages me, I know, but at the same time, we've got some animals still out here at the park.
I don't think that
That's
dog
not a
should
lemur.
be in the Lemur Center.
That is,
I think
no.
he would just wreak havoc.
He's too playful. All kinds of animals out here at the ballpark today. Oh, now that's cute.
That one might fit in more.
I don't know, lemurs, are they aggressive?
That's a good question. I'm sure somebody knows here on this campus, though. All I knew was what I saw online, Jenny. That's my extent of lemur knowledge.
Well, we can help you. The next time we're here in Durham, we can go out and visit that Lemur Center. And I mean, our producer, Todd Koulis, even got me a shirt the last time he was there.
That's our lemur specialist right there. Anyone knows. 2-0 count. 9-1-2 due up for Clemson here in the 5th. Likely not happy with the hit number or the runs total, but it's not a lineup that hasn't had opportunities. They've been there.
Well, it comes down to making sure that you're executing, and they've struggled with runners on. They've struggled with runners in scoring position. Just 4 combined hits in this ballgame.
4-pitch walk from Curd to start off the inning. Pipkins led off the third inning with a double, and they were unable to bring her around. So similar situation. She leads it off, nobody out, and it's the top of the Clemson order.
It's all about taking advantage of the things given you, and they know that Brockenbrough likes to just put the ball on the ground, so the defense will be playing in, trying to take advantage of Brockenbrough, who's probably just going to be more of a touch and go at bat. I mean, the left side, you got your third baseman pulled in, and Oakland pinched up the middle.
John Rittman called for Brockenbrough to back out and watch the signs. Not going to attempt to bunt on that pitch. 1-1.
Well, and in this situation, they're daring Brockenbrough to lay down a drag bunt. But what that does is it opens up the 5-6 hole because it takes away the lateral movement of Tyrena Jones over there at third.
2-1. Conversation coming from Gabby Shattuck behind the plate. Just a couple hits. They've left 5 on base, and it's just been the hitting with runners in scoring position and runners on. These situationals have not been good for Clemson.
No, there have been 4 free passes offered up by Curd in this ball game. And they started off the game by getting Brockenbrough on, and then a hiccup base running wise changed the momentum quickly of the top of the first. And there's the discipline you have to show against Curd. If you can let that pitch go at the letters, you're going to be, you will force her to bring the ball down into a hittable zone. But if Clemson continues to swing and miss at that ball up in the zone, it does not take it away from Curd, and she will continue to exploit that slot.
3-1 to Brockenbrough. Another walk.
Back-to-back free passes, 5 on the day for Curd. So important now for Clemson to figure out how to stay off that pitch up in the zone.
So you're Kylie Chanel coming to the plate. You just seen 2 players walk on a total of 9 pitches. What is your thought as Marissa Young wants to talk to Cassidy Curd?
I mean, as both head coaches bring their teams together, this is a conversation that Marissa Young is talking to Curd about where she's stepping. You need to stay on the power line, and sometimes when that step gets offline, it adjusts your release point. So that seemed to be what Marissa Young was talking about. John Rittman for Clemson, he's talking to his hitters about, listen, we've got to put the ball in play effectively. Not just a quality plate appearance, but I need a quality at bat coming out of these hitters. Stay off the ball up in the zone, be disciplined on the strikes. There is an arm warming in the pen for Duke. Number 6, Ava Bradshaw, up in the pen.
Saw a lot of Bradshaw yesterday.
And a really unique story, KK Mathis has started throwing for Duke here at the end of the season.
Thrown just under 9 innings on the year. Is upstairs, ball 1. This is a Clemson team with a big opportunity here in the 5th. They haven't been shut out in their last 41 games. Is this the moment with Kylie Chanel at the plate? Has not recorded an at-bat, a walk and a sac bunt. And this was the same situation in a 1st and 2nd when she sacrificed these 2 runners over in the 3rd. One. Off the end of the bat to left field, back toward the corner, tracked down by Matthews, and the runners have to stay put.
And I think that was a really good pitch for Chanel to swing at. She just was ahead of it, and because she was ahead of it, got it off the end of the bat. Out in the outfield, deep fly ball by Matthews, tracking it down. Smart by Taylor Pipkins to not try to advance to 3rd on that deep fly ball.
Wind has picked up a little bit here. The last few minutes or so, kind of swirling around, for the most part blowing in from left field. Cloud cover has also moved in pretty quickly in this last inning. It does not feel like the end of April right now here in Durham.
It did yesterday. That's the crazy part. Yesterday was a beautiful day, sun shining. But then when the game ended last night, the skies opened up. We had a ton of rain overnight. And now today, the temperature dropped. Fantastic discipline on that pitch up in the zone. That definitely changes the way Curd can attack you in the box.
Hard hit ground ball. They'll get the lead runner. Can they get two? They cannot. Pavesi beats it out. Pipkins stays put at third base.
Just important as a defender to make sure that you get the first out. The throw from the shortstop Oakland over was a little bit scary. High in the zone. Stafford had to stretch to keep that one.
Cintron again with a big chance. Struck out swinging back in the third with 2 on. Takes strike 1 from Curd. Two Clemson hits have come from their leadoff in Brockenbrough and their 9-hole in Pipkins. A single and a double in the game. That was pitch number 100 from Cassidy Curd. Two and one.
We talk about the big home run that Cintron got yesterday. But when you look back to what happened in game 1, when she was facing Cassidy Curd, she had 2 strikeouts. So Cassidy Curd had the advantage the first time around against this big hitter.
Two.
And Clemson would love if Cintron could do what she did yesterday. It was off Ava Bradshaw. Big home run in the first inning.
First and third, 2 outs.
Just missed it. That's one of those swings where you feel so good, it goes straight back. You know that you were just offline by a hair. This is a huge matchup between these two.
Just missed. The runner is now between first and second, but Pavesi will just hop over to second base.
Yeah, trying to draw the throw in that first and third situation.
And Marissa Young wants to talk things over.
Well, they want to know if there was a hiccup made by the advancing base runner.
Duke is challenging that the runner at first base possibly left early on the pitch. It's now under review.
And while this is a reviewable play, it does change the momentum of this inning. If over at first base, Mac Pavesi did not play that correctly, you're looking to see, does the foot leave the bag before the pitch leaves the hand? Definitely did. So this is a huge challenge. Impressed that Marissa Young has those eyes in the dugout checking that out on every single pitch.
It's just one of those two that's tough because it just didn't matter. You know, you're obviously taking second, that's great, but the runner that's important is standing at third base, and now the opportunity is going to be taken from Cintron.
Yep. And a very quick review.
After review, the runner at first base left early on the pitch. The runner is out. The count will now be 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That is a good reminder of the count. It doesn't matter in this situation. That is out number 3, and the inning is over. Now 5 scoreless for Cassidy Curd in somewhat unique fashion.
Go back to her on Sunday to try to get the win. She has the 1-run advantage and has thrown 3 strikeouts in this one. Abby Dunning on the other side, she threw yesterday's game and Clemson got the win. Tonight she's got 4 strikeouts. It's the free passes for both of these teams that continue to make this game a little bit dicey.
See the numbers, just 4 hits combined, the 1 run. Hurd's 5 walks have not hurt her to this point. Oh my goodness. Deanna Jennings is down on the field. This is a scary moment. That is great to see Deanna Jennings hop up like that and walk to first base. Wow.
And it's completely unintentional. That is not something that Abby Dunning was trying to do on purpose, but that is why the mask on the front of a batter's helmet has actually become something that players all around the country now wear as a rule, because that pitch up and in is on top of you so quickly. And as you turn to hit, there is no chance for you to shield your face. So that mask on the front of that helmet definitely saved Deanna Jennings right there.
Jennings on first, which is just fantastic to see her staying in this game. And Amina Vega at the plate. Dunning delivers strike 1 on the outside corner. Dunning was concerned, as well as everybody else in this stadium, about Jennings. It's a really good changeup for strike 2.
Well, as a right-handed pitcher, as soon as you hold onto the ball just a little bit too long, that's where your miss spot is in the left-hand batter's box. So with Deanna Jennings, she held on a little too long trying to get the ball up in the zone, and luckily Deanna Jennings is okay.
Vega 2 for 6 in the series and has walked 5 times to left center field and deep and gone. Amina Vega with the biggest swing of the day. Home run number 16 of the season for the superstar senior.
Amina Vega has been one of those players for Duke that has been a pillar from the moment she stepped here on campus. And in this moment right here, they were playing her to go the other way. One of those mature things a veteran hitter will do is look at the way the defense is set up. Her outfield was playing her shifted, going the other way. With that, she set herself up as a hitter for a nice big drive going oppo.
76 hits on the year, 41 of them are for extra bases now for Amina Vega.
At the plate, number 9, Jessica Oakland.
Strike 1 to Jessica Oakland. They are 1 shy of the program record in home runs as a team. With the ACC tournament, regionals, maybe supers and beyond still to be played, you would imagine that number will go down pretty easily. 97 as a team in 2022. This offense, both as a team and individually, in a lot of ways, have been record setters for this program.
I remember back at the beginning of this Duke program a couple of seasons ago, the conversation that Marissa Young would have with young recruits is, do you want to come into a program to set records, or do you want to come in and break records? So those early teams were honestly setting records every year. Now with the immersion of some of the best talent that Duke has seen, you're seeing those original records already being broken.
We asked Marissa Young, what was toughest when you first got this going? All the things you have to do when you're building something from scratch, what was the toughest? And she said the academic hurdles that you have to handle at Duke, and it's getting elite players that can fit that academic mold that you have to fit as a Blue Devil athlete. And she said still it's sometimes surreal to be where they are and to be competing for championships like they have and appear to continue to be doing.
Well, and we were talking to her about some of the majors that her players are actually in classes for, and her players come to her with some questions, and she said, let me remind you, I coach at Duke. I didn't go to Duke. And that was a lighthearted moment by Marissa Young, and she wasn't a great student as well. She went to Michigan. I mean, that's not an easy place to graduate from either. But she definitely tips her cap to the athletes that sit in her dugout that she brings here to Duke, knowing the rigors that it takes to be elite, both in the classroom and on the field.
Tyrena Jones did not necessarily want that, but got a piece of it anyway, 2-1. Jones, outside of the record-breaking swing in game one, has had a quiet series, just 1 for 9. Big swing there for strike 2. Dunning, all smiles, just held on to that a little too long.
And her control just seems to get away from her every now and again. Sometimes the pitches are so tight on the zone, and then others.
It is chopped at to third. A little bit of a low throw, but that's out number 2. Well, the ACC Men's Lacrosse Championship semifinals in Charlotte. Games on Friday at 5 and 8 Eastern. Coverage begins with the All-ACC pregame show at 4:30. I think some of your softball skills would have translated.
Do you think so?
I think so.
I don't know. That's a pretty violent game. I don't know if I'm ready for that.
You're a violent hitter, Jenny. Here to tell you.
Oh, yeah, but they hit each other with their sticks. They don't swing at just the ball.
We've only worked together a little bit, but I think you might have that in you.
Don't make me mad, Chucky. You wouldn't like me when I'm mad.
Layla Lamar trying to regather herself. 1-1 count. Bounced in by Dunning. High for ball 3. We'll put you on the spot here. Who's the toughest pitcher you ever faced in your playing days? Toughest pitcher you ever faced in your playing days?
If I don't say Lisa Fernandez, she'd probably hit me with a stick.
That's a pretty good name.
I think people across the country might know who that is. Yeah, I think the best part or the hardest part about pitchers is you got to get in the hitter's head, and as soon as you get in the hitter's head, that's where you have the advantage. Lisa Fernandez, luckily my first at bat against Lisa Fernandez was a home run, so I feel like I got in her head a little bit, and she was a senior and I was a freshman, so I didn't have to face her again after my freshman year. But it's all a mind game. It's all about confidence. Who has the edge? And so who's the toughest pitcher? The one you let be, more than anything. And I think when you face people in the circle, you've got to step in with the utmost confidence. Almost take it like backyard softball in the sense of, think of it like your little brother or your little sister out there. You're not going to let anything get by you.
Who was the best pitcher you ever played behind?
Ooh, great question. I mean, I was in the Olympic trials, so I was playing behind Michelle Smith, and in college I played behind Susie Para and Nancy Evans. I mean, I was blessed to be able to play with the best, and at the time didn't even know how blessed I really was, because now I look back and a lot of the records that are still sitting in the record books are teammates and people that I got to share uniforms with. And maybe the one that everybody around the country is looking at right now is the one that Kendall Wells is chasing, with Laura Espinosa chasing that number 37 in a single season home run record.
First pitch swinging for KK Mathis. And Johnson takes control of this for out number 3. Another big swing from the superstar senior.
Gotta love the senior, Amina Vega, another big charge in one. 16th home run of the year. And now Duke, one away from breaking.
Boston College this coming weekend. Friday's game is a 4 Eastern start on ACC Network Extra, and then the weekend matchups on ACC Network, also available on the ESPN app. That is a big series because Duke, as we mentioned, this is it for them in the regular season. So Florida State, with 3 wins, will secure the regular season championship and the #1 seed in the ACC tournament.
Yeah, Duke needed to sweep this series against Clemson to be able to get the regular season secured. But with the loss yesterday, Clemson became the big spoiler and changed the way that the end of the season looks for Duke.
Well, next weekend will be it for Boston College. So what they will be playing for is to be the spoiler for Florida State. Trying to help the Duke Blue Devils. Clemson could make it even more of a long shot if they can get something going here, but Cintron robbed over at third base by Tyrena Jones, scooping up that ground ball.
When Kurt had to face Macy Cintron twice. I mean, she faced her last inning, but didn't get recorded as an at-bat because the runner left early at first base. And when you face Cintron, you've got to be so careful because of the kind of power she's been swinging with this season.
Marion Collins 0 for 2 tonight, 3 for 10 in the series. Had her 6th home run of the year yesterday. 4 of her 6 home runs this year came in a 4-game stretch in late February. Did she get all of this? She did not. For a moment, Jennings backtracked like that might be carrying. There's 2 quick outs for Curd.
Doesn't look like that hit by pitch is affecting Jennings out there in center field.
Sarah Bro has been a revelation down the stretch. Last 12 games, 7 home runs, and an average just south of 400.
And that just shows you the the kind of lessons that sometimes are needed by freshmen early in the year, just trying to find her feet. And then at the end of the season, putting it all together. It took 23 games to hit her first home run.
Two-0. Pitch 111 from Curd. It's been an unusual game for Cassidy Curd to be an out away from 6 scoreless. It has just come in a different way than you might expect.
Well, and Cassidy Curd has been very good at getting the swing and miss. What she hasn't had in this game is a consistent strike zone, and with that, there's been some frustration.
That'll get out of play for strike 2.
And I think that's the argument for most pitchers and hitters all around the country is whatever the strike zone is, that we're just asking for it to be consistent.
Two from Curd. Outside, ball 3.
One of the things that Gabby Shattuck is doing back behind the dish that I'm actually not a big fan of is pulling those pitches so far. I'm okay with you sticking it and trying to sell a pitch for an umpire, but when you're dragging your receive like that, it actually doesn't help.
That is bounced in by Curd, just lost the grip, and Bro reaches for the second time on a free pass. She was hit back in the 4th inning. That was almost her second 1-2-3 inning. Had one back in the 2nd. John Rittman going to make a change here. It will be the usual starting catcher, Corey Hicks, who was red hot entering this series. It hit .423 with 5 home runs in the 12 games leading up to this weekend.
I think the change happened because yesterday there was a ball dropped back in foul territory that didn't look like it was gone after very aggressively. We saw that change. And Minish did a good job behind the plate, but they are missing the bat of Hicks.
Takes strike 1.
Here's where you see if the sophomore's been paying attention in the dugout during this game. Was she hanging her head because she wasn't the starter, or was she taking in the information and able to translate it here?
Takes strike 2. (0-2) to Hicks. Corey's parents, both college athletes. Mom, Catherine, played at West Valley Junior College. Dad, Julius, played basketball at West Valley and at Oregon. Then her sister, Jamie, is at Fresno State right now having a career year. Corey would love to straighten that one out.
Well, she just swings a really violent stick. I mean, the way that she gets through the zone, you can tell that she's got a ton of whip, controls the barrel very well, and last year was trained by what many consider to be the best offense in the country, the coaches at Oklahoma.
(2-2).
So while Hicks only had 23 at-bats last season while being a Sooner, she was training every single day with all of those elite hitters.
Underneath this and out of play. (3-2). Curd looking for 6 shutout innings. And that is a walk, a great at bat from Corey Hicks off the Clemson bench. Now the tying run comes to the plate in the form of Kylie Johnson, who has had an excellent couple of days here in Durham.
And she was yesterday's hero. Had she not pulled back that home run over the wall, made that big play from left field, getting the out at the plate, and also her own home run. I mean, this was a difference maker player yesterday. It was not a fantastic pitch down in the zone, but it was a big one as it was able to give them enough run support to get that big 13-11 win.
0 for 2 today, a ground out and a pop-up. Lays into this, but is underneath it to left, and Matthews is there to make the catch. It is 6 scoreless for Cassidy Curd. 1 inning away from another win. Three 3-0 Duke over Clemson here at Smith Family Stadium, which will house one of 6 AUSL teams in year 2 of the AUSL. They all have homes now, and these players will soon have homes as well. The AUSL College Draft on May 4th at 7 Eastern on ESPN2. The final golden ticket went out yesterday to Mississippi State's Peja Gould.
And I wish I could tell you where each of these players was going, but that is actually confidential information that you can find out on May 4th. Tuning in to the college draft show. Chucky, I think you're going to have a part of that big night.
I will be there, and you won't tell me a thing. My partner, Jenny Dalton-Hill, not just a 3-time national champ and former National Player of the Year, but also the general manager of the Chicago Bandits. So 3 of those players on that board will be playing for Jenny this summer, but her lips are sealed.
Not saying a word, but I am excited for the country to be able to see who will be wearing the amazing uniforms that were just revealed this past week for each of the 6 teams in the AUSL.
Strike 1 to Gabby Shattuck. 7-8-9 for Duke, trying to get a little bit more insurance here before Clemson comes to the plate in the top of the 7th.
And there's Jayla Wright. She will be playing for the Carolina Blaze, staying home here in Durham.
Linking up with Anna Gold, another former Duke star on that team, as well as Valerie Cagle and Mackenzie Clark. So Clemson and Duke each have a pair of their former greats on that roster, along with many others. 3-2 count.
I'm just grateful that we now have a viable option for professional softball here in the States.
That is ball 4. What was your favorite part of the inaugural season last summer?
I mean, I think last year it was something where it was so new in so many different ways, but the cool thing about the Carolina Blaze this year is the fact that one of their home stands will actually be played at the Durham Bulls Stadium. Their head coach is the UT Arlington head coach. Their general manager, Dana Sorensen, a graduate of Stanford. But with 2 expansion teams this year, all the teams now finding a permanent home. Last year's champion, hurts me to say that, but the Talons will be based in Salt Lake City, and the Bandits Talons will be the first matchup of the season out in Salt Lake.
London Collins running for Duke with nobody out here in the 6th. Aaliyah Terrell, senior from Greensboro, North Carolina, is going to bat. Senior day yesterday, so her number is in the grass with 6 others representing this senior class for Duke. What a class it's been. Some that came in late and have only spent a year or 2 here. Trying to lay down the bunt, fouled back. 1-2 count.
Well, they knew that she was going to try to put that ball just in the short game. Defense was playing her really shallow. They're going to still crowd her at the plate, but with 2 outs, she needed to make sure that the barrel continues to move through the zone and not stop, because you touch on a foul ball here on a drag bunt attempt, you're automatically out. So the left side of the field is the spot where typically slappers try to exploit, and it makes it easier for them when the infield is pulled in because it takes away the ability to move laterally. But with the kind of speed that she's got in the box, she's just trying to put this ball on the ground and let her wheels work down the line.
Another foul ball.
You got to make sure, though, as a slapper, that you put the ball on the ground. You got to stay above the ball on its approach. And the way that Abby Dunning's been throwing here today, she likes the ball up in the zone. That makes it difficult for a slapper to stay on top of.
Kind of see the gloomy colors of the setting here in Durham right now. It's about 60 degrees and dropping, and there's a nice little wind here too, so it's not your typical summer softball or spring softball. Dunning, firm throw over to first, 1 away.
I mean, not only are you feeling it, but Taylor Wyke, the third base coach for Duke, went in and put on the heavy coat. The temperature is definitely different than yesterday, and we've fallen 5 to 10 degrees since the start of this ball game.
These are well-prepared fans, to their credit. That guy is not. That would be me in the t-shirt and shorts. I didn't know.
I think I'd be the one at home wrapped up in a blanket, listening to you and me. Come on, Chucky. This time of year, though, whenever you travel, you got to make sure you've got the long sleeves and the shorts, because yesterday was warm. Today, very different. Everybody having a good time at the ballpark.
She's cautiously reckless. Like, she wants to send it, but she's also like, look, this is a little dangerous here.
We thank our camera crew for braving the elements.
Another pinch hitter here, Kyrie Rodriguez, redshirt junior catcher. Takes ball 1 from Dunning. 2-0.
Dunning has kept her velocity up throughout this entire game, still throwing low 70s. Through yesterday as well. 117 pitches in game 2. And on this next pitch, we'll match yesterday's total pitch count.
Clemson wanted that swing checked by Rodriguez, and they did, and said she did not go, and there was a big reaction from the coaches in the dugout. Instead, it's a 3-0 count for Dunning. There's strike one.
I mean, and seeing it in real time, I think, is difficult, but when you watch it slowed down, she definitely went after it, and I think that was something that you can see in real time. But the umpire is pulled off of first base, which changes his trajectory of looking at that.
Popped up on the infield. 2 outs. Deanna Jennings, last chance for Duke here in the 6th. And then we will likely see Cassidy Curd trying to finish off a complete game shutout. Jennings trying to lay the bunt down with Bro played back at 3rd.
That's something that Jennings has just gotten so much better at, is reading her defenses and taking advantage of what they give her. So as the third baseman stays back, dropping a drag bunt and using her wheels is so important.
1-1. Jennings and Vega have both homered. They've scored a combined 3 runs. It feels like so often when you talk about one, you almost always have to talk about the other, because that's how they've been. Such a fantastic, effective 1-2 punch for Duke. They're kind of chasing each other in the hits race.
Which is pretty cool, because both of them are very different style hitters. Vega is that gap-to-gap ball hitter that can also leave the yard. Her speed is what changes a game too. So while she swings and puts the ball in play to the outfield, Jennings just likes to put the ball on the dirt and let her wheels work. These two back-to-back have been so difficult for Duke the last couple of seasons.
That's the career hits leaders for Duke. You're going to have 2 with over 300 when it's all said and done here. I mean, this is what we're talking about kind of with Duke. You're not just setting records because there's no one's played. These have been excellent players that have played here, and they are by far and away the hits leaders in this program. That rolls foul for strike 2. And those numbers will be tough to touch.
They will. And the reason they're so good is because they protect one another. You have to pick your poison. Do you go at Jennings or do you go at Vega? And when you look at the way that the hitters are faced all around the country, I mean, Davis at Texas Tech, that's ridiculous. 328 hits.
Popped up, tough spot here, long run, all the laid out attempt, not quite there for Chanel. That was an excellent effort, but Duke gets another run.
And that's just a ball with eyes that finds its way to the grass. That's not something you practice. Typically, a slapper, you want them to put the ball on the ground. There she was trying to just touch it, get it over the shortstop's head. But look at the way that Chanel retreated to try to get back to this, almost able to rein it in. Huge dive, huge try, but just beyond the reach, and another run on the board for Duke.
25th multi-hit game for Deanna Jennings, her first in this series. Still not out of the danger, even though Jennings is only on first with Vega at the plate. Change up for strike 2.
Well, in yesterday's matchup, 1 through 4 in the lineup were a combined 3 for 14. Today, there's already 4 hits within those 4 players. 2 of them, big jacks over the wall. And I think Duke comes to rely on the top of this lineup to constantly be on base. So when they're not, that's when you see these low-scoring games. The bottom of the lineup really relies on the top to set the tone, get themselves on, and allow the big bats to push them around.
1-2. Talked about Abby Dunning, no stranger to a big workload. A couple of years at Boston College in 23 and 24 with that sub-3 ERA and 340 innings pitched. She is closing in on her highest pitch total of the season, which is currently 131 that she threw against Louisville. That one gets away. Back to the backstop. This is, though, what we've seen from Abby Dunning. If you eliminate the first inning of yesterday's game, what she has done against this Duke lineup, that could be the game changer for Clemson in the postseason as really a great secondary to Sierra Manis.
Most definitely. You've got to make sure that you find a way to get rid of the free passes. I think that's the piece for Abby Dunning that maybe is the Achilles heel at times. While earlier in this game, I think she was purposefully throwing around some hitters, here at the end, we're seeing her maybe lose a little bit more control as her pitch count has elevated.
Sierra Manis did leave the first game in the third inning. I think the expectation is, though, she's going to be all right, just giving her some rest as they move toward a little break before the ACC tournament. Vega on, Jennings up to third with the walk.
It was a little scary moment in game one with the exit of Manis, knowing that they are going to rely on her through the end of the season. And when we came in here today, she would have been the penciled in starter, in my opinion. But I think you're right, Chucky. They're giving her the extra rest today to get her a little bit more ready to go for the postseason, especially the ACC tournament.
Tough to replace Brooke McCubbin and Reese Basinger, who Clemson lost off last year's team that was so close to the Women's College World Series. They combined for 36 wins. Each had 18, both of them with a sub-3 ERA. (2-0). That was the new season high in pitches for Dunning at 132. Three and 0. A walk to lead off this inning of Shattuck, and then back-to-back outs before a single and another walk. There's strike one. Ground ball, and it's going to be enough. Chanel faked the throw. Another run comes across. 5-0.
And Chanel has great range. We obviously saw it on the retreat, trying to get the Deanna Jennings pop into shallow left field. But that one right there, there's nothing she can do. She can keep it from getting to the outfield, but beyond, they were playing so deep that there was no chance for her to get the throw across the diamond to try to get Oakland getting down the line.
Ball one to Tyrena Jones, who now represents the winning run. Duke walked it off in the bottom of the sixth in game one. They could do it again right here. They are moments away potentially from being 8 for 8 in ACC series. They had 4 sweeps, and this would possibly be their 4th series win, taking 2 of 3 from their opponent. Pitching change for Clemson as the freshman Lexi Hames comes out of the dugout, and we'll talk about Hames when we come back. Duke up 5-0 on Clemson here in the 6th.
in the circle for the Clemson right fielder, number 33.
Here in Durham. She's thrown 251 pitches, going back to back, and Clemson is going to have to rely on her down the stretch. She's put together a really nice performance with 5 strikeouts. It's the walks that maybe concern me a little bit more, but I would say half of those were on purpose, dancing around some really big hitters for Duke.
Held Duke to just 1 run through 4 full innings today, and then 2 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, as she exits here with 2 outs and 2 on. To make way for the true freshman Lexi Hames from Harmony, Pennsylvania, 2-time Pennsylvania Gatorade Player of the Year. Saw Hames in game 1 of this series. Went 3 innings, gave up 5 earned, and again, 3 passes, 5 walks for her, a little bit of an issue. Got her first career win this year over Lipscomb, went 6 innings and struck out 10.
Well, and her arsenal is very similar to that of Abby Dunning. It's all up in the zone. That rise drop mix is very different, but it comes down to making sure that she stays on the zone, because as the umpire was watching back behind, the ball got away from the catcher Corey Hicks and actually hit our home plate umpire Eddie Hall right in the mask. It's hard as a catcher to make that adjustment back behind the plate to a new pitcher, but you've got to make sure that you protect your umpire.
That's what we'd call protecting your strike zone, as a matter of fact. Hopefully Eddie Hall is okay. Looks like he is. You gotta be tough as a home plate umpire.
We'll call it the potential strike zone.
Hames' first pitch outside. Actually a 2-0 count for Hames. Dunning threw 1 pitch to Tyrena Jones. Very dangerous hitter here. And now in a 3-0 count. She's hit 20. And it is her lone hit in this series still, 1 for 10. And she walks on 4 pitches, 3 of them from Hames, 1 from Dunning.
When we talked to John Rittman about his pitching staff, he said the thing that they have to do is not give up free passes. He said that's the thing that kills us. Their focus needs to be on hitting spots and changing speeds. And when you enter a ball game, you've got to be able to just dot up the zone and let your defense play.
Layla Lamar now, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. Watches that for ball 1. She's already went yard once in this series as well.
Yeah, yesterday, Layla Lamar, big swing, and it was left in right down Main Street. No doubter, over the wall, nothing that the outfield can do to bring that one back.
1 for 3 with bases loaded this season. That's bounced in by Hames. Lamar might be waiting to see one here.
Especially in a 2-0 count, you know the pitcher doesn't want to fall behind. This is the pitch that I would always be swinging out of my shoes at.
.30. The winning run is on first in Tyrena Jones. Remember, this is all happening with 2 outs. There was just a 1 runner on with 2 outs in this inning, but 4 straight have reached, and now a pitch away from a 5th straight. That's up and in. Another run comes across, 6-0. They are going to make another pitching change. Dunning's coming back for Hames.
Well, this is a lesson for the freshmen to understand what the preparation needs to look like in the bullpen before coming into a game, especially in a tight ball game like this. Dunning's been messing with this area where she lands with that stride foot the whole game. She's been kicking the dirt, trying to get the clay moved where it needs to be. But definitely a difficult outing for Lexi Hames, coming in, giving up 2 walks and finding her way back to the dugout.
Get some help from the grounds crew here as well. And we will step away with 2 outs and the bases loaded in the bottom of the 6th. Winning run on second base for Duke. Abby Dunning, who is about to re-enter this game. They could have just went to their center fielder, and Jamison Brockenbrough did the internship with Clemson's grounds crew this past summer. She knows what she's doing.
She's more comfortable on the heavy machinery, but you're right. She did do the summer internship with the grounds crew at Clemson. View from the cockpit. Beautiful lines in the outfield as she took care of her home field. It's not a pretty clean job. You've got to be able to get dirty to be effective. I think my favorite picture that they sent along, though, was the mower that she may have had a little issue with a chain that got wrapped around the blade.
We've all been there.
I think that road is now open. That is not the mower that she had the issue with, but the grounds crew coming out to put some new clay back in that landing spot for Dunning. When you talk to Coach Rittman about his center fielder, he says, I think she's more comfortable sitting on a mower than anywhere else.
Have you done that job before, the field crew?
I've not done the field crew job, but I've actually, one of my favorite things, I always wanted to be able to drive the ball picker at the golf course, and I got to do that when my son was the golf manager at the University of Kentucky. Maybe I'm not supposed to share that out loud, but I only got it stuck twice.
There is a first pitch strike from Dunning to KK Mathis, who is 1 for 4 this year with the bases loaded. A base hit into the outfield would likely end the game. 1-1. Two and one. Popped up. If it stays playable, this could do it. Minish is tracking it and caught it right up against the net. Sam Minish makes a nice catch to end the inning. One last chance for Clemson, down 6-0 on the road in the final game of the regular season. Sam Minish right up against the netting, making the grab. She just started catching in the fall.
Let's take a look at today's Good Hands plays brought to you by Allstate. It happened in the very first batter for Duke. Deanna Jennings, leadoff blast. Huge home run for her. And then in the 5th inning, Amina Vega got a jack of her own. Duke sitting comfortably with a 6-0 lead.
And Cassidy Curd is 3 outs away from a complete game shutout. See Deanna Jennings, 2nd career leadoff home run. The other one against North Carolina. They took 2 of 3 in Chapel Hill. One count for Curd. Fouled straight back 1-2. It would be just the 5th shutout of the year for Duke if Curd can finish the job.
And it'll be Curd's 10th complete game on the season. And in an age where we see pitching staffs really trying to attack hitters on the other side, Curd has gone the distance almost 10 times this year.
Another foul ball.
They really rely on Cassidy Curd to be a starter. She's not known to be a reliever by trade. Today was her 23rd start on the season of her 31 appearances, and so they will use her in relief. However, she is someone that really likes to take the reins from the very beginning.
The Cassidy Curd we saw this weekend in her 2 starts is the one that can take them back to OKC.
She definitely can. I think the missing piece of the puzzle right now for Duke is figuring out who follows her effectively, whether that's the next starter or who can relieve her and take some innings off of that arm.
This is driven out into right center field, cut off by Lamar, so it's going to be a really nice swing, but just a single for Taylor Pipkins at the bottom of the order. She's reached all 3 times she's come to the plate: a double, a single, and a walk.
She's just such a good number 9 hitter for Clemson. She flips the lineup over, has good speed, great sense. She was the ACC tournament MVP a season ago.
Strike 1 to Jamison Brockenbrough. She has also reached all 3 times. Ball's behind 0-2.
You just got to make sure you stay off that ball up in the zone. There have been 22 walks in this series. Today, Curd has given 8 free passes.
Got her swinging.
The way you attack a pitcher like Curd, who likes to go up in the zone, is you got to make sure that you swing above the ball. Right now, these hitters for Clemson trying to hit the long ball by going low to high in that swing plane, and that's difficult when you're facing a rise ball pitcher.
Chanel first pitch swinging, could be 2. They just get the lead runner, but Clemson down to their final out.
Well, the reason you didn't see the throw by Oakland over to first base, I think there was time for her to get her, but couldn't get a handle on the ball.
This is what Cassidy Curd's done in this series. Started on Friday, 4 hits, 2 runs. Started tonight, 3 hits, no runs. That walk number obviously way up there. Has not cost him tonight. There is strike 1 to Mac Pavesi.
Well, even though the Duke coaching staff and even Cassidy Curd has been frustrated by the strike zone being called here tonight, she has done a really good job of handling these Clemson hitters.
Goes to the outside corner, strike 2. Cassidy Curd, a former top 10 finalist for the National Freshman of the Year when she really announced herself loudly as a true freshman at Duke. Got her swinging. It's a complete game shutout for Cassidy Curd.
For the 7th time, Cassidy Curd gets a 7-inning complete game shutout. And the way that Curd was throwing here tonight, you can tell that that training in the offseason has set her up to be right where she needs to be here at the end of the year.
First time Clemson's been shut out in their last 42 games.
I mean, that is a pitch that just continues with glove side run. And the emotion of Cassidy Curd, you can tell, for her last homestand as a senior in the Duke uniform in the regular season, a huge win to give them a great end of the season as they head into the ACC tournament.
And another resume builder for Duke, their 13th win against a top 25 opponent. Marissa Young's team wins all 8 ACC series this season. For our awesome crew led by Todd Koulis and Chad Lampman, my partner Jenny Dalton Hill, I'm Chucky Kemp. We say so long from Durham.